from the June XX 1979 edition. The Shishibone City Okinamiya Police Station. June XX, late at night. Suspects XXX, XXX, XXXX, XXXXX, XXXX were arrested on suspicion of murder and improper disposal of a corpse. The main offender, XXXX, has been added to wanted lists nationwide. According to our sources, the 6 suspects were at the Hinamizawa Dam construction site workroom on the XX night at 9 p.m., where they are suspected to have assaulted and murdered the site overseer, XXXX, as a group, dismembering his body and hiding it. On the XX at 8 o'clock in the morning, a report was filled by the Shishibone Police Hospital in which a male suspect alluded to having murdered Mr. XXXX. When questioned at the police station, the individual confessed to the crime. Since a portion of the body was recovered at the location he gave, he was arrested that afternoon on suspicion of murder and mutilation of a corpse. The rest of the suspects were arrested the same day, but the main culprit is still at large. Police are currently on his trail. The motive is purported to be a drunken verbal dispute during which he killed the victim in a fit of anger. However, as there are multiple inconsistencies with their testimonies, the investigation is ongoing. October 1975. In accordance with the Prime Minister's Bulletin Number XXX, Hinamizawa's Electrical Development Master Plan was announced. The vast scope of the projected Hinamizawa Dam will be an incredible heavy impact on the village of Hinamizawa. The flooded area caused by the Hinamizawa Dam would include the 5 areas of Hinamizawa: Takasudo, Kiyotsu, Matsumoto, and Yaguchi. The submerged area includes 291 houses. Population 1,251. 1 elementary school, 1 middle school, 1 post office, 1 architectural cooperative, 1 forestry department lumber yard, 5 shrines, 2 temples, and 1 fishery. All of these communal, cultural, agricultural areas and places of worship will be indefinitely submerged at the bottom of the artificial lake basin. Forsaking the hundreds of years our ancestors poured their blood and sweat into this fertile, resource-rich land is just too painful to bear. All the residents having homes that were to be submerged band together and created the Onikakushi Defense Alliance. The dam project was halted and petitions to alter the plan were circulated. The citizens sought peaceful negotiations, but the government and its puppet company XXXXX openly refused. Performing unspeakable heinous acts, they quashed the democratic actions of the villagers. But the villagers did not falter. Instead, they banded together even more closely and steeled their resolve to protect their homes to the death. The continuation of that frightening Hinamizawa Dam construction project is still stalled as of today. The villagers understand that the stalling was caused by sublime power through unity. And they understand that this fearsome plan has not yet been fully withdrawn. The Onikakushi Defense Alliance has been dissolved after it did its part, but the feeling of unity it gathered have not yet been extinguished. As long as that passion resides in the hearts of the residents, they'll be able to comfort whomever next decides to sink their homes into a lake basin. Onikakushi Defense Alliance Committee Chairman Kichiro Kimiyoshi. Nightmare befalls the Hinamizawa Dam. Lynching and murder dismemberment. In X month of X day in XX Prefecture at the Hinamizawa Dam construction work site in Shishibane City, a bone-chillingly gruesome murder dismemberment. Even though this case has shocked the archipelago, the police will give no details on the case. Exactly what happened at the Hinamizawa Dam? They probably didn't mean to kill him at first. But as the victim resisted by swinging around a shovel, the rest of the perpetrators armed themselves in return, and it quickly escalated to homicide. So said the aforementioned investigator A. After this bloody tragedy was over, they were left with a body which nobody thought was alive. XX-san had tormented the suspects daily with his rough behavior. At first, it was meant to be payback. All the perpetrators were horrified by their deed, and one even turned himself into the police. It was the de facto leader of this group, XX, who suggested hiding the body. Reluctantly at first, they soon began to think they did not wish to be caught. The construction site had numerous places to hide the body with 6 people. They were originally supposed to hide the body and leave the area, but the de facto leader feared that the consequences of the other 5 wouldn't be able to bear the burden, and came up with a horrifying method to keep them from turning him in to the police. He devised a heinous method of splitting up the body among them and making each of them responsible for hiding a piece. XX had turned a simple manslaughter into a gruesome dismemberment and forcibly involved each perpetrator in order to create a sense of unity between them. Each one participated. But what does this mean? Person A spoke out reluctantly. XX had ordered each and every one of them to dissect the piece for themselves. They were hesitant at first, but nobody refused. In for a penny, in for a pound, was what it meant. Thus, an unimaginable bloody ceremony began. The perpetrators wept and vomited as they performed the gruesome task. There was one person who stubbornly refused, but XX threatened them, saying nothing would change if someone ended up dead, and he gave up in his objections. But XX's plan collapsed in the span of one night. XXX, who had refused to dissect the corpse up until the last moment, had broken down into tears at the hospital where he was being treated for an injury sustained during the scuffle and confessed. The criminals were arrested one after the other, but the de facto leaders, XX's whereabouts were still unknown. Also, the right arm hidden by XX has yet to be found. Despite an ongoing search, this horrible individual has so far managed to elude law enforcement. What could the police be doing? It appears that XX has said he was going to throw the body, right arm, into the marsh. XX's car was discovered abandoned in the marsh, but there were no clues as to his whereabouts. XX didn't trust his companions. One cannot deny the possibility that he had accepted his companions to confess to the police and used his car as a decoy. Of course, I doubt that theory. Since he has no car, one would expect him to have a limited area to which he could escape to. But within the station, there were rumors going around that he had accidentally slipped and drowned in the marsh when he went to throw away the body. To the locals, the marsh is believed to be bottomless. It's known as Onikakushi, the ogre's abyss, and it's said that the bottom of the marsh is connected to the hellish world of demons. That atrocious demon from hell, that was XX. Could it be that he had returned to hell through the marsh? The thing, Dragonbringer of luck and fortune! Prosperous future, what? Ladies leaping into your arms. Business success, promotions, ambition, protection from harm. Not just with pachinko and horse races, but business and even love. Guaranteed or your money back. Vision Dragon Races DX One Piece. 27,800 yen.